Good morning. It's time to jump on that to-do list. If that home improvement project doesn't have to be a chore, before you jump in, tune in here to About Your House to listen and learn from the most experienced and reputable contractors and service providers in the industry. On today's show, we have Jeremy Striz of QuickKit, your fast and affordable solution to cabinet remodeling. About Your House is brought to you in part by PutToolsInSchools.org, connecting students to tools of the trades and raising awareness of the many career pathways. About Your House is also brought to you in part by Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store is a family-owned store serving the Carolinas for over 70 years. They're the largest independent appliance retailer in the Carolinas, constantly growing and taking pride in the experience that they offer customers with a knowledgeable sales staff, product selection, and lowest price guarantee. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some time with us as we spread a little love. And now, here's your host, Ray Terry.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to another broadcast of About Your House, heard at the podcast studio here at the Toolbox, North Charlotte, an interactive learning space we're putting together, along with podcast studio. Don't you like it? I do. We're getting used to it. It's been we've been in the studio now almost 2 months. We're getting used to the bugs, and I bring in Richton back into the throw. We're going to do the show just like we did it, and we continue to do it on Fox Sports Charlotte every Saturday morning, and good morning to you. Jeremy Striz is in the house. He was with QuickKit. You call it what you want to. I'm going to call it QuickKit. The reason being because, well, it'll all fall into place once you learn what QuickKit's all about. But it's been a great week. Weather's turning around. We're into March now. Yep, 1st of March. 3 more weeks till springtime's here. I'm looking forward to it. Not that we've had a big winter, but at least we had a snow drop or two. Snowflake, not drop. We had a few drops, but we had a couple snowflakes. Good morning, Jeremy. How you doing? Welcome.
Hey, thank you, Ray. Good morning. Good to be here.
Good to be here, too. Yes, good to have another Tuesday alive. Yes, it is. Crazy world we live in, folks. I'm going to tell you, but we're going to do our best and fight the battle and continue the fight against our inability to teach our kids about the tools of the trades. And Jeremy here's got some background in home remodeling and experience within the industry. We're going to find out his story and talk about do you know it's Women in Construction Week?
I do.
Yep, first week of March every year, Women in Construction Week. Typically, I have NAWIC on the show, but as you can see, not this time. I went to a NAWIC meeting a few weeks back, and Marianne Konopnicki, the chairman of the board with Put Tools in Schools, was the guest speaker. We presented Put Tools in Schools program to them and what it's all about. And folks, I want to talk a little bit about what happened this week, or what we did this week. We attended an event at Bailey Middle School up in Cornelius, and we saw, it was 8th graders only in middle school, and got the opportunity to see and talk to, I would guess, at least 400 to 500 kids. And, you know, I've got to be careful and not too critical of the situation, but we were invited to attend this career day, and 3 companies showed up, 3 companies addressing almost 400 to 500 kids. I didn't have an exact count, but I know it was a lot of kids. And 400 to 500 in the gyms, a lot of kids. So we met with the kids, and I got to speak to them. And I asked them the same questions all the time. You know, how many people know what the trades are? Show of hands. No hands. No hands. Either they were afraid to raise them, or that's how bad the image is around the trades. I don't know which. But at any rate, 3 groups spaced apart, about 40 minutes in each group. And all 3 groups, same response. 8th graders don't know what the trades are. That's critical. I mean, that's a big deal. Wouldn't you think so?
Absolutely, it is.
You got any kids?
I do. I've got 2 boys.
How old are they?
20 and 16.
What they doing, if I might ask?
Our 20-year-old is a sophomore at University of South Carolina. He's a biology major. He wants to be a doctor.
Good luck. All right. I say that because, well, anyway. You know, I sound negative about education here the
Come on,
past
Ray.
year.
Come on. Lighten
Well,
up.
I'm trying to be light, but when I go to a school, and that was the fourth middle school we've been to, and how old are you, Jeremy?
47.
All right, you're pushing the big 50. You're right on time, and got a 20-year-old. That's you're right there with me. You were around 24, 25 years old when you had him. I've got a 48-year-old. I was, right there with you, So I was 25 when I had him, and he's 48. Matter of fact, he just called a minute ago. And anyway, but my point around this is, I asked the kids about the trades. They didn't know. And so I said, let me go ahead and pose another question. Let me ask them if they know what an apprenticeship is. And I did. They don't. Have no clue what an apprenticeship is. Now I ask them the other question. I always ask. Now I saw no hands. 2 questions. How many are going to college? Everybody raises their hand. 90% of the people who go to college, the reason I said what I said, these are stats, not mine. Our education system is not working. It's not working. And you, at your age, have been indoctrinated to the college education system, and you send your kids to college because that's what you're supposed to do to get a good job and be successful. It ain't working. I'm not saying your son won't. I'm not saying that at all. But 90% of the people coming out with a degree do not apply their degree to their career pathway. Those are stats, not mine. MIT, Harvard. And it's evidenced in Wednesday's meeting I had with our kids at Bailey Middle School. Now, why do I bring that up? Well, QuickKit. What's that all about, Jeremy?
So QuickKit is a cabinet refacing manufacturer based out of Houston, Texas. And cabinet refacing is one option that you have relative to upgrading cabinetry, kitchens, and baths. The other 2 options being resurfacing or full box replacement.
Right. Now, is a tape measure required?
Yes. You have to measure.
I get that. I visited your website. I read the info. I watched the video. Back to the reason I'm all about the trades, okay? You got to read a tape measure, right?
You do.
90% of the kids I saw last week, and I'm being conservative, can't read a tape measure. And here's the sad part. Most of the teachers can't either. That's an issue. I mean, here you're selling a product that requires tape measure reading when you've got a culture out there not educated how to read a tape measure. And that kind of says it all, doesn't it? I mean, really? And people ask me all the time, this is a great example of why you need to learn to read a tape measure. 3rd grade math. Great example. Am I right on that?
That's very accurate.
So the DIYers, they'll learn the hard way, and I get that. That's an education in itself. But you go to high school, you graduate from high school, you can't read a tape measure, 3rd grade math. 3rd grade math fractions. And then you go to college, and you get out of college, and they still did not teach you to read a tape measure. I see this all the time because I interviewed a lot of people on this here show. I've done a couple hundred of them anyway. And I've interviewed a couple hundred at least people who've given me the feedback, on this. And everywhere I go, I'm kind of a nut. I know I'm a little crazy. Everywhere I go, I hold up a tape measure and ask if they can read them, and no can read. But we're here today. I've been in the remodeling industry, for 56 years. I've made every mistake you can make, and I'll probably make a few more before I go away. But my point here today with today's show is, Jeremy here I met you at an area meeting.
Yes, sir.
Why'd you join NARI?
Well, my responsibility at QuickKit is I lead our single-family solutions division. So QuickKit, 8 years ago, was founded and really created with the sole focus of servicing the multifamily industry.
Apartments.
Yes, sir. And over the last 8 years, the organization very indirectly has encountered opportunities and appetite within single family where cabinet refacing absolutely applies and is just as relevant as it is in the multifamily industry. So about 9 months ago, QuickKit brought me on board to help build out this division specific to single family in conjunction with us for 8 years, being really, really laser focused on service in the multifamily industry.
In what way? Why? I mean, why did you go after multifamily?
Well, when you think
I can understand it as a remodeler, but I want to hear your side of it, telling people I'm going to kind of help you if I may.
Sure.
It's an upfit. It's a way, a lot of people go in there and paint cabinets. And I look at this product. I had Bruce Zaidman on the show here about 3 weeks back with American Woodcrafters. They're a cabinet refacing. They go in there and remodel the kitchen, refacing. This is not intended. It's only intended for the cabinets. This is a cabinet refacing, remodeling adventure. I'm going to call it an adventure because all task and remodeling is somewhat of an adventure, especially in today's world. And we're going to talk about the box stores and how that ties in too. But it's a puzzle, and you got to find all the pieces, essentially. But I love the concept of what you bring to the table. And, not everybody can afford new cabinets. And like apartment buildings, I can speak firsthand of an apartment that my girlfriend used to live in Seattle. And I thought of her kitchen and bath cabinets when I saw this product. The doors on those cabinets were particle board. Were particle board. And they were old, like in the 70s old, and you know what they looked like. Being particle board, they were swelled and battered, but only the doors and drawer fronts. The boxes were solid for the most part. They were solid and they looked pretty okay. But the doors, really, they were terrible. Yeah. Well, this is a wonderful product for that situation. They could go in there and QuickKit. Tell them, basically, give us a rundown of what this is all about.
Sure.
Now, I've got the website up behind me here, and you can see some of the products there. But, and I've got the products laid out here on the table, some of them.
Absolutely. And if there's anybody out there listening and there's an interest in touching and feeling a product, you can reach out to me, and I'm happy to provide free samples for anybody that just wants to get a feel for what it is that we represent.
Or they can call me and I'll let you see mine because I don't need them. But I'm glad he sent them.
That'll work as well. So first things first, around cabinet refacing. So I mentioned really the three options that you have when it comes to refreshing cabinetry. Resurfacing is simply painting. So in the event you're pleased with the layout, the doors are in good shape, you like the styling, you just want a different color. Well, in that situation, resurfacing is a good fit. Resurfacing of the three options happens to be the least expensive as well, so it's very budget friendly. Full box replacement is absolutely the most invasive. It's the most
it's remodeling.
It is.
Might as well go ahead and tear the walls out, do the lighting package and everything else, because one thing just leads to another.
It is, and it's by far the most expensive. It's roughly 3 to 4 times the cost associated with what we represent with refacing cabinetry. To replace boxes, there's really 2 criteria in which if a customer came to me and said, here's my situation, am I a good fit for you? The 2 boxes that must be checked in order for us to look at a client and say, we are absolutely a perfect solution for you. Number 1, the boxes are structurally sound. So Ray, you made mention of
The boxes.
the older the box, solid wood is perfect.
Yeah.
That is a perfect opportunity to reface. The second being, you don't want to change your layout. Obviously, if you want to change layout, that means adding or detracting boxes, existing boxes. We, as a cabinet refacing manufacturer, we don't provide our customers full box options. We are simply...
That's not what you're in the business to do. That's not part of the program.
Correct.
I get it.
Correct. So boxes are structurally sound. You don't want to change the layout. We are absolutely a great option for you. And as I mentioned, relative to full box replacement, we are 1/3 to 1/4 of the cost associated with full box replacement. So if you don't want to change the layout and your boxes are structurally sound, there's no need really to spend all that money in conjunction with replacing boxes.
I love the selection of doors you have. It seems to be good, very well designed and made cabinet doors. They're painted, they're sprayed with.
Well, they're not painted.
They're not. What are they?
Our product is
I stand corrected.
Is MDF core, and it's wrapped in a high-tech film, polypropylene. So it's a fully wrapped.
Oh, so there's
product.
a film.
Yes.
Fully wrapped.
Yes, sir. Fully wrapped.
Even the solid panels.
That's it. And because it's fully wrapped and there's no failure points whatsoever, we're one of the very few organizations that can extend our customers a lifetime warranty against delamination. With a thermofoil product, which is partially wrapped, as it's exposed to heat and moisture, most specifically those doors, those parts that are above microwaves, above ranges, it's not a matter of if it's going to delaminate, it's when. Because over time, moisture, heat reacts with that glue and causes that part to fail, and it causes delamination. The peace of mind that our customers have in purchasing our product and putting it inside their homes or their apartment communities is we're gonna guarantee it for life that it's not going to delaminate because it's fully wrapped. There's no failure points.
Gotcha. Well, we're going to talk more about it, but I got to pay a few bills here, talk about my sponsors. And we're going to go back to the radio format every show every hour about this time. We're going to bring our sponsors into focus here with, we'll start by ABS Insulating. ABS Insulating, been a sponsor of the show now for going on 8 years. Great sponsor, great support, but a great company. Originally family-owned and operated right here in the big Charlotte metro market. Insulation's their number one ticket, but they've got a gutter division that, bar none, they'll take care of any gutter issues you have. If you're, haven't had the gutters cleaned out since last winter, you might want to give them a call. The phone number there is 704-821-4343. And insulation, you can't beat them for what they offer, be it air seal, bad insulation, combination packages, closed cell, open cell insulation. Before you insulate, if you're looking to remodel or build a home or upfit your existing, give ABS Insulating a call. And they're a great company. Go online, absinsulation.com. Now, Rhino Lift, two boys were in here. I call them boys because they're young boys, less 28 and 29 years old, got together, scratched their heads right out of college. One being an accountant major, the other a project manager, construction major. Got out, graduated, opened Rhino Lift to be a great, honest, transparent company, giving you great products in crawl space encapsulation, foundation problems, moisture intrusion, you name it. That's rhinoliftfoundations.com. And Kilo Exterminating, been in the business since 1952, going out of sequence here a little bit. Mr. Rishton, I apologize for that. Kilo Exterminating. If you want pest control, you can't get a better company. That's what they do. They're not in business to encapsulate your crawl space. They're not in business to upfit anything but get rid of your bugs, get rid of pests. And you can develop a relationship with your own exterminator, your own pest control expert. That's right. They offer that. Check them out at kilo.biz. And we appreciate the sponsorships. We appreciate the support these companies have given about your house through the years, and I'd appreciate you tuning in to them, giving them a call, and checking out their services. That's Kilo.biz, Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions, and ABS Insulating. There you go. And today's guest is Jeremy Siryus. Where'd that name come from?
I don't really.
You don't have any history behind it.
Well,
you're the only Siryus I've ever known.
I think I probably one.
You ever
one
known
in
a
that
Siryus?
respect. Yes, sir. And
Never known a Siryus. Are you from Charlotte?
no, I was actually born in Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
We ain't got to that yet. But speaking of that, you were born in Chicago?
Yes, sir.
Born and raised?
Well, not raised. No, I was moved at an early age. My dad worked for General Motors. We moved two polar opposites. We went from Chicago to Alabama, and I claim Tennessee as being my home. That's where I grew up through middle school and high school. Went back there and went to college in East Tennessee. So Tennessee is really my home.
Tennessee's what you call home?
Yes, sir.
What city?
I'd be split between Middle Tennessee.
So you were raised in the rural area, more rural?
About 40 miles.
That's what I'm getting from
Yeah.
the conversation.
40 miles south of Nashville, a little town called Chapel Hill,
Chapel Hill,
Tennessee.
like the one in North Carolina, but you got
But
Chapel Hill, Tennessee.
Yeah, it gets confused. You say Chapel
I'm
Hill.
sure it does.
Yeah,
And Chapel Hill, North Carolina, with Tar Heels, I can see confusion there.
No, the Chapel Hill that I claim to be my own only had one stoplight when I grew up. So
Right.
it's quite the difference.
You're rural.
Very rural.
All right. So what age were you when you moved to Chapel Hill? Roughly.
I was in 5th grade.
Gotcha.
When we moved there. Yes, sir.
Cool. Got any siblings?
I do. I've got 2 brothers, an older brother and a younger brother.
So you're the middleist, like me.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Middle kids are special. Well, I'd like to think so anyway. It worked for me. I don't know. Okay, so you were raised in a rural Tennessee city.
Yes, sir.
Were you exposed to any of the trades or any of that in high school or school at all in Tennessee?
Not beyond what my dad taught me. I mean,
That's what I would expect. And you know what gave me that information? Your age. What did I speak of earlier? That you're part of the indoctrinated in the system of education. They got you because your kids are going to college. And that's beautiful and wonderful. Or is it? You know, we'll see. But you see where I'm coming from here. Now, see, because you, coming up through grade school, now middle school, high school, you weren't exposed to the trades other than what your father gave you, which is great because you had a father and he gave you some of it, you know. So you were raised in, all right, what took you away from there? You went to high school there?
I did.
Graduated from high school?
I did.
Then what happened?
I went to college. I went to small private school, Maryville College in East Tennessee. It's
Cool, for what?
business and organizational management was my degree.
Right, so that's a great degree. Has it helped you any?
So on that topic, I will tell you, and I've shared this with my boys.
Please do.
Numerous times as they've grown up. I've shared this with my wife. I've shared this with.
Now you're sharing it with us.
I'm sharing it with you guys.
And the world.
I've shared it with people that I've been responsible for leading throughout my career. I don't know that any of my employers. Before I say this, let me preface with stating there was value associated with the college experience.
I've heard them all.
Yeah,
I understand
there was
that.
value in it. It taught me time management. It taught me prioritization. It taught me discipline. Those were all skills that I learned throughout my 4 years
I understand.
in college. That being said, the curriculum associated with the degree I acquired, I don't know that my employer, since I graduated, really care all that much about the degree that I acquired.
But you had it.
I had it.
And that's all. You checked that box.
I did. And I think more so than anything, you get a degree to a prospective employer, it represents
That what you discussed.
Putting forth the effort, the discipline, all those things associated with getting a
And you
degree.
spent the big bucks on going to college and getting that degree.
And there was
Welcome to status quo.
And there was a stigma too, and I want to call this out.
Sure.
And I've shared this with my boys as well. My wife and I both have. I remember when I was getting ready to go to college, and I played basketball too. So I was trying to find somewhere where I could go play basketball and get a quality education. But at the same time, being 6'2", I knew I was not going to go to the NBA, so I had to be realistic. I need to go somewhere where I can continue to play basketball, but also to ensure that I get a really quality education that sets me up for success after school. My parents were of the school of thought, and I think that many were, and maybe still be to this day. I'm not real sure. I can't speak to that with conviction, but there was this association with the most prestigious school, the most expensive tuition was going to enable you the greatest
Success
livelihood.
in the land.
Yeah, you were going to get the greatest job. You were going to have the highest income. All those things coordinated with this association with you got to go to the most illustrious university.
Hear it
there
all the
is.
time.
Yes,
Yep.
and
it's still the same.
and I realized it in the midst of my education. It's not about the brand or the name associated with the university. It's what that individual chooses to get out of the experience and how they apply it after they graduate, after they get that degree. So again, at the end of the day, it's not, you don't have to go to the most prestigious institution. It's really knowing what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to get out of it when you
Right.
go in, and then staying the course until you achieve that goal, and then you come out and you apply what it is that you set forth to gain based off of that 4-year or 6-year or whatever, how many years experience it was based off what degree.
How many years did you go?
I went for 4. I got my bachelor's, which is what I set out to achieve.
Good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I mean that. And I hope it does you well. But I have to piggyback some of that. The things you learn in college, you would learn at a job. Same things. Discipline, showing up to work on time, people skills. You know, I've heard every argument from every mom and dad there is about what college offers. College is more education according to the indoctrination practices of what college teaches in today's world. It's not what it was 30, 40 years ago. You know, it's not. And you just said it. You know, and to that degree, when you get out, and I'm not asking you if you got college debt, that's a personal thing, and I'll stay away from that. But chances are you do or you don't, and you're lucky, you know, because most do. One lady, you know, I interviewed, and I'll never forget it. She's $120,000 in debt. She came out of college with a master's. Okay, she doesn't even remotely use her degree toward her career pathway in construction. And she's in construction today, but that is far away from what she set out to do initially. And that's all well and good, but here she is in debt, paying a monthly, you know, payment. And here's really what bothers me about all this too, is the indoctrination is so unrealistic around kids. They can sign a piece of paper and get a loan for college without mom and dad available. That ain't right, folks. I'm sorry. They can do that, but yet they can't go on a construction site when they're 16. Got to be 18 years old. What? But they can sign a piece of paper, go in $100,000 in debt, but on their own. They haven't been taught finances yet. They haven't been taught anything about balancing the checkbook yet. But they can sign a piece of paper and go in debt. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. You know, and kids at that age too, more times than not, they don't, with conviction, know what it is that they want to do the rest of their life.
They shouldn't even know.
No.
They shouldn't know. But when you ask them, they know what they're going to do because they've been coached. That's part of the indoctrination. And, you know, here I sit, probably pissing some people off. I mean no offense. I mean no ill will. I'm talking about the kids. I'm talking about their future, their purpose, their happiness. And there's another one. You ask 500 kids, what's the most important thing? And I do every time. What's the most important thing we want in life? We all want the same thing. Richton's got it.
Happy.
Thank you. Now, we want happiness. But what do they say every time? Money.
Money, money, money,
Money.
money.
Then when I yell and emphatic no, they look at me like I'm the enemy.
Yeah.
We all got to make money. I know that. Oh, well, how well I know. I'd like to make a lot myself. But that's not what we ultimately want. We want to be happy. You want to be happy. That's the reason you're not working for the big box stores anymore. Part of it, right? Because we all go through life finding what gives us a greater sense of purpose. And, you know, getting a little spiritual here, we're all put on this earth to serve purpose, to serve each one, to serve humanity, give back. That's what our purpose is. They don't teach that in school. Only church. Oh, I forgot, they pulled churches out of school. Gets deep, don't it? Yep. So where do we go from here? Let our kids sign for $100,000 in debt and then ask them what they're going to be. And I love it because last Wednesday at Bailey Middle, I asked the kids, and you can tell they've been coached and driven and herded to the almighty higher education pathway. It disgusts me because they don't know. Here's what bothers me about it all. They don't know the other options. They didn't teach you you're 47, right?
Yes, sir.
47 benchmark. You validated what I've told people. That's why I ask age, because it lets me know where you fall in the education conundrum, if that makes any sense. And there again, I'm not criticizing college. It sounds like I am. I'm criticizing the system. Not the teachers, the system. However, I will say this, and I got to throw this one in here. I've been to 4 middle schools. We have a trades career day, and we're set up. I mean, companies can't afford to send a bunch of people, right? So you can only have 1 or 2 people at each presenter, each company, be it electrical, be it plumbing, whatever. And the teachers, the educators, give our students handouts, questions that have to be answered or stamped or whatever. You know what I did at the event Wednesday morning? I stamped handouts to validate them coming to my station. I stamped handouts. Do you see the interference there? The kids came with a handout that they were focused on. Not the reason they came to the event, but the handout in which they were given by the educators, teachers, to be sure to fill it out and answer your questions.
It was an assignment for the event. That's
Thank you. Yeah.
They love worksheets. Can't get enough of them. Worksheet for everything. You watch an educational video, worksheet.
But I couldn't speak to the kids and be effective for what I was there for. Who thinks about this stuff? I mean, I'm sorry, but anyway.
The educators, that's who.
If you want not certified, knowledgeable, intelligent, critical thinking people to come to your house and fix your cabinets, install your appliances, put your new floor down, fix your back door. It doesn't fit right. If you want experienced, good, qualified, quality people, we got to bring the trades back. We've got to bring critical thinking back. We've got to. Because if it gets any worse, you'll be calling 2, 3, 4, 5 people coming to your house. It's already happening. You know about those cases, don't you?
In some cases, it can be really tough to find quality help.
See? And I hadn't even gone to how you know that, but see, you've been in the industry, right?
Yes, sir.
You've been in the industry. Okay. Check my clock here. You got out of college. You graduated, and you still live in Chapel Hill? Predominantly, I mean, I know you're growing and life's getting to you.
My family was still there, but I went to school out in East Tennessee. I stayed in the Knoxville area after I graduated until the first employment opportunity that I had after I graduated brought me back to Middle Tennessee.
Right. And then what? What'd you do out of college?
So
The pathway to 47.
yeah, so
You are in what, your early 20s?
yeah, I mean, I went to school right after I graduated and got my degree in 4 years. So I was 21, 22.
Gotcha. 21, 22 years old.
Yes, sir. And
Life slapped you upside the face.
well, and the job market was challenging at that time too. And you know, the school I went to, I mean, took a lot of pride in job placement and ensuring that prospective employers viewed graduates of the university that I went to as, you know, we were qualified. The college set us up in a position where we felt as though that we were going to have a place when we graduated, and then we graduated into a really soft job market. I had friends, classmates that I graduated with that couldn't find jobs within their career field that they acquired a degree within. And for me,
Where have I heard this before? Keep talking. I'm sorry. I'm a little sarcastic.
for me, I because I grew up in Middle Tennessee, I had worked off and on part-time for the Dollar General Corporation as a means just to put some money in my pocket.
Well, you got to have a job.
Yeah, being able to take, you know, my girlfriend out and do things that, you know, teenagers do. And when I graduated, they had pursued me pretty aggressively to come back on board with them in a full-time capacity after I graduated. So I did that. I worked for them.
Corporate America, here I come.
Yeah,
Cool.
I worked for them for about 7 years.
Awesome.
And then
That was an education.
it was.
Corporate America education, more structure, more corporate disciplines, more education. Back to the college thing. Keep talking.
Yeah, so I and my wife and I just trying to get ahead. At the time, we didn't have children.
So early marriage, got married.
Yes, sir.
So you got married when you went to corporate America, got you a job, had some solid income. Got it.
And my entire focus was get to the next level, take on whatever the next challenge was to be able to earn more income for my family and be able to set my family up for sustained long-term success. So if there was an opportunity to go to a different location and there was any monetary increase associated with it, my wife supported me. We signed up for it. We did whatever it took to get to the next level. There was a lot of effort invested. There were times when I was doing grand openings for a concept store that they opened where I was working well over 100 hours a week. So, I mean, the grind was real, and it took its toll on my family. Our firstborn, Sage, was a baby. My wife was at home, didn't have a support structure, and we kind of got to a crossroad, and she gave me an ultimatum. It was either I stop working as much, I go find employment with a new company, or I get her back to East Tennessee where she had her family and
Support.
friends. Yes, sir.
Support.
So, and thankfully at that time, Dollar General was really supportive, got me back to East Tennessee within a week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
And I really appreciate you sharing this, too, because more people need to tell their stories.
Yes, sir. That last move to get my wife back close to her family, with me working as much as I was, so she had some means of support with a young baby at home. We moved into a cul-de-sac, and it was fate. Across the street within this cul-de-sac where we moved was an HR manager for Home Depot, and our children would play out in the cul-de-sac, and he was talking to me one weekend. It was a Saturday or a Sunday, and he said, "Hey, you are never home. Why do you work as much as you do?" And I was like, "It's retail." I was like, "That's what's retail."
So what we do.
And he said, "No, what you do is not retail." He said, "That's." I was like, "Well, Home Depot." I said, "I've tried to get on board with Home Depot from the time I was in college, part time when I'd be home for the summers. I could never get anybody to call me back." I said, "Home Depot's got to be consistent and similar to what it is that I work as far as work schedule. He said, it's really not. He said, what you do is not normal. He asked me if I'd have interest if an opportunity opened up. I shared with him absolutely, and didn't really know that it was going to go anywhere. And within a couple of weeks, he called me and said, hey, I think I've got an opportunity for you. I went in and I was so desperate for a change and an opportunity to be home more with my family and do better for my family. I begged for the opportunity. Brad Bell was the person that extended me the opportunity that I'm indebted to this day for changing my life. And
so you went into Home Depot. So you went to Home Depot.
Yes, sir.
After 7-8 years with
7 years with Dollar General. Then I spent the next 11 years of my career with Home Depot.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
See, I didn't know that. So you went to Home Depot, and you stayed in that area where you were living? Did they require any moves?
I was there in the Knoxville area for about 3 years, and then it came time. And I will say, between Home Depot and Lowe's both, there's a really, really intentional focus on people development, and for talented people who put in the work and produce the results, to afford opportunities to be able to do more in your career. And I'm forever thankful for that.
I'm going to reflect on your stages, you might say, the evolution of what put you here today. You didn't have a background in construction.
I did not.
You didn't have a background in any of the trades or any of that, but you went into Home Depot. What did you do on your entry level for Home Depot, if I might ask?
So, it's interesting that I was actually really intimidated about going into
that's why I'm asking, because that's a heck of an inventory to deal with right out of retail like Dollar General. I was just curious.
And it was very, very imminent and obvious to me that could be an obstacle in terms of for me being successful with them.
Sure.
That I didn't have the experience within the industry, the home improvement industry. I was assured very early on, we're looking for a leader. We'll teach you the things that you need to know about being able to effectively service customers within the stores. We're looking for somebody that has the intangibles that you represent. So that's what kind of put me at peace in knowing that I could acclimate.
You had the work ethic and the business background to make it work.
That's it. So I started.
You were actually pretty prime with your background going into a situation like that. I could see that, and your attitude.
Well, I was hungry. I was motivated. My work ethic, I'd like to think, is unparalleled. I'm willing to learn. I'm open-minded, and because of all those facets, I was able to assimilate and have a successful career with that organization. But to answer your question, I started out with them leading a small team of merchandisers. We did the resets, the seasonal resets, and things of that nature for all the stores within the respective district in that Knoxville market.
Gotcha. Well, I'm glad to know that's how you got into the home improvement industry, and we'll talk more. But I got to take a quick break here. Talk about my great sponsors that we have here at the About Your House radio show. Owens Chimney Systems. Excuse me, let me go back to Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store been in business since 1952 in the Charlotte metro area. Here recently, in the past year or two, they have expanded. Now the Queen City Home Store, formerly Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliance, now Queen City Home Store, bringing all home furnishings, bedding, furniture, appliances, and much more to every home and every house that wants it, needs it. They're a great store. Queen City Home Store, like I said, developed in 1952 by Mr. Woody Player and the Player family. Still family-owned. 3 generations in that store, bringing great value, great products, and the best price guaranteed. Go online, queencityonline.com. You can do your shopping there, or give them a call, corporate, 704-391-6000. Queen City Home Store. And hopefully, real soon, we're moving to videos on our screens here that you'll see their products and weekly specials, if not monthly, like Black Friday specials. Those type values, we're going to bring them all to you right here on About Your House, the Queen City Home Store. And now we're going to, what's next up, Mr. Rishton?
Next up, we're going to do Floor Coverings International.
They were in the studio last week, if my memory serves me correctly. No, week before last.
Week before last.
Week before last. Floor Coverings International.
Rhino
Every
was in
house.
last week.
Every house has Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Every house has floors in it. Every house needs floor coverings or concrete decoration, whatever it is, hardwoods, LVP, ceramic tile, you name it, they got it. They'll take care of you. Stairways, you want to put new treads on those stairways, they can handle that. Whatever the floor covering situation is, Floor Coverings International will bring the showroom to you. Many of their vans, and doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter. Cornelius, Belmont, Weddington, Indian Land, doesn't matter where you're at, give them a call. Go online, Google them. That's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Just Google them. Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte, or yourflooringteam.com. Owens Chimney Systems, another family-owned business. You're noticing a trend here, folks. We at About Your House like companies that are family-owned, locally operated, and service the community. And Owens Chimney Systems, no different. Owens Chimney Systems, 30 years of service to the Charlotte area. Second-generation owner, Miss Christina Thielen. She's James Owens' daughter, a certified chimney sweep. That's right, certifications required in that company. All technicians certified to do any hearth repair or specialized service that you may need around your hearth product, be it gas fire logs, be it chimney sweeping, be it new liner up your chimney. No matter what the issue, Owens Chimney Systems will take care of it. Go online, owenschimneysystems.com. And there you go, folks. And I appreciate all our sponsors. Without them, we couldn't support Put Tools in Schools. About Your House Radio is Put Tools in Schools' voice. And we got to have a big voice because we got big problems. And I really appreciate all the sponsors, all the support they offer and have offered through the many years of sponsorship with About Your House. Today, we have Jeremy Siryus in studio telling his story and talking about, well, his product, QuickKit, which we're going to, in the second hour of today's show, we're going to hit on it hard and heavy, and I'm going to throw a few things out there just to let you know what the other side might look like in his application. Great application. We'll learn more about that, too. Jeremy, telling your story. You got with Home Depot. Let's go back in time. You were with them 7 years?
11.
11 years you were with Home Depot.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a good stint. What changed it?
Well, I think it was, first I would tell you, my career with Home Depot, I got to experience a lot of different situations and scenarios that enabled me to really grow as a person and a professional, not to mention the fact that, I mean, hard work, dedication, effort, taking care of people internally and externally are all really well rewarded within that organization. So I reflect very fondly based off of my overarching experience with Home Depot throughout those 11 years.
You had an education in home improvement for 11 years.
I did.
And that right there is something I'd like to talk about a little bit.
Yes,
you
sir.
went in there, I'm going to be cruel here, dumb as dirt. And it concerns you, the fact you didn't have an in-depth, relationship with home improvement, right?
Yes, sir.
And you went in there cold, which that's tremendous. And lasted 11 years. So you did something right. I commend you for that tremendously. You stayed with the box store 11 years. You got tenacity, boy. I mean, because I know all about the big box store hierarchies and how it works, because I've been in the industry a long time. Matter of fact, Home Depot came to Charlotte August of 91. That's 1991, the Pineville store opened. Welcome to Charlotte. And the rest is history. But you stayed with them 11 years. Did you learn a lot about the home improvement industry?
Oh, I did. I will say for my particular situation, I think a nice way of kind of easing into that environment and allowing me to assimilate and acclimate in a way where I could feel confident and effectively not only service the external customer, those that would come inside the store looking for a solution, but also too my internal customers, the associates I was responsible for leading, my first 3 years leading a merchandising team enabled me to get my hands on the products as we executed resets and planogram updates and all those things that allowed me to acclimate and assimilate and learn for those first 3 years as I led a team that was purely responsible for just ensuring that the merchandising sets were accurate and consistent throughout each store in the district. But from there, that's when the next rung on my ladder, so to speak, was to go into a store management role. My leader at the time told me, he's like, and it was some of the best advice I'd ever received, because all I could reflect back on was my time as a store manager with my previous employer, and I wasn't too keen on the prospect of going back into store management, singular store level. And Brad told me, he's like, listen, man, for anything that you want to do in your career here, you have to have the knowledge, the awareness, the compass associated with the ins and outs and all things with running a store. Because as you take on new roles within the organization and you become more elevated beyond a singular store level, you have to understand how you impact the stores, which is the lifeblood of that organization. That's where the rubber meets the road. You've got to ensure that you can take care of the customer at the brick and mortar location. And so I took his advice. I went into the store. I actually ran a store in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Yep. So that was a move from East Tennessee to Myrtle Beach was the first move.
When you were in Tennessee, how many stores did you work in up there collectively?
There were 9 stores in that respective district that I was responsible for. And again,
so you had a district area to play with, not just one store.
Yes.
So you were in management.
I was, but it was specific to just leading a merchandise.
I understand.
Team. Yes, sir.
So a merchandise team being sales associates on the floors.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just getting some background. I appreciate you sharing. I'm learning stuff here. And so you went to Myrtle Beach and you managed the store.
Yes, sir.
How'd that work out?
And that, look, I will be really honest with you. I was terrified about the responsibility associated with going in and leading a team of 150 associates and being responsible for, I'm in the plumbing aisle, I'm in the fittings aisle, and a customer walks up to me and asks me, this is my situation, how do I fix it? The prospect of me not being able to provide them sound guidance and being able to help them for why they were there scared me. And I was really transparent with leadership that put me in the position. And again, I was reassured. Look, you're going to have subject matter experts all around you throughout that store. Learn from them, lean on them, and you're going to be successful.
Make it work.
So I trusted those that put me in that position, and the recipe for success in anything that you do in life is put good people around you. Put winners around you.
I appreciate you saying that, because there's an issue going on in our culture today. Our group of people we call our society. That is so true. Everything we do is all about people. Everything we do is all about people. But yet, people in today's world, here I go again, are busy. Everybody's busy. Mm-hmm. We're too busy. And why we're too busy is becoming a big issue. We're screen busy. Because if you're not busy, pick your phone up and you'll be busy, won't you? Mm-hmm. So if you're not busy right now, pick your phone up, look at it, you're busy. Right?
Correct.
Our screen time and our busy has become overwhelming. And, I'm no different, and I try to I stick to my commitments. But in short, money trumps commitment in today's world too. Money trumps commitment when it shouldn't. A commitment's a commitment. Money shouldn't trump that. But we've gotten so busy that money trumps the opportunities. And that's an issue. And I'm seeing it more and more and more. And I'm in the middle of it with the endeavors I've taken on in my personal world around put tools in schools. The toolbox here. I can't find help. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? I can't find help. So it's really finding help, qualified people, is a brutal task in today's world. Would you agree with that?
It is definitely challenging.
You know, so back to your story, and man, what a great story. So you went to Myrtle Beach.
I did.
You got your people skills all honed in.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I'll revisit the fact that, and look, I take a lot of pride in being able to hire the right people,
Sure.
pour into people, develop people.
That was your craft.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, you put smart people, you put the right people on the bus in the right seats.
Right.
The bus rides pretty smoothly, and that's why I think throughout my career I've been successful, is because I've got a high standard. I communicate that very early and often to those that kind of want to get on the same bus with me, and we hold each other to that same standard, and that's why we're, at the end of the day, successful more times than not.
Got it. Now let's go back to the Home Depot story. You did good, but what happened? What happened after Myrtle Beach? You got to Lowe's at some point in time.
I did.
And
yeah.
I want to know the story of getting to Lowe's, because
Kind of look like an interrogation. What happened?
it is. Yeah, what? Well,
were you on
it
this
kind of
night?
is. This story's challenging. It's a documentary about
Jesus.
Jeremy Siryus, here. A documentary about whatever happened to Jeremy Siryus. We're finding out. He's at QuickKit.
left Home
I heard
Depot.
about he was at QuickKit. Well, how did he get there? That's Ray Terry's problem. No, but appreciate you sharing. I really do.
Well, so
How old were you at Myrtle Beach? I'm just curious. You had 2 kids yet?
yes. So Sage, our oldest, I think was 5 or 6 when we moved there, and then Pierce, who's our 16-year-old now.
Well, you boys have seen the beach anyway.
Here's the crazy thing about that, though. My wife and I felt so accomplished as parents, being able to allow, a 5 and a 1-year-old to be able to grow up at the beach. And we were so excited to pack them up in that car and take them to the beach the first time.
That's awesome.
Look at us as parents, man. Our kids get to live near the beach. That first time, they were excited. They soaked it up. They enjoyed it. The next time, the weekend, it was like, hey, let's go back to the beach. And it was like, do we have to? And it was like,
The novelty already wore off.
yeah, after one trip. So
What do you do? What do you do?
We tried. So
Gave it all you got.
we did. So we were in Myrtle Beach. I led that store team for about 3 years, and then it was really successful store.
It was the only store.
My brand was kind of created, and I'll share this with you. I grew an affinity for the pro customer, the contractor, because I was competitive and I wanted to win. I didn't want to just be the best store in the district. I want to be the best.
I've got to interrupt you.
Yes, sir.
Because this is longer than a 2-minute story here, and we're going to have to continue it, because I'm reaching the top of my hour here. And I'm telling you, folks, this story's good, so you got to come back for hour 2. We're going to find out Jeremy's story, because he did go to the blue store, orange store, blue store, and we're going to hear the story. And we're also going to talk about cabinet upfitting, cabinet refacing, cabinet remodeling, call it what you want, QuickKits, all about new cabinetry with existing boxes. Pretty much it, right?
Yes, sir.
New drawers, door fronts, We'll cover the issues, so you tune in. And we're talking to Jeremy here and his evolution of how he got here today, speaking to Ray Terry on About Your House. Now, all kidding aside, I look for people like Jeremy, successful people in the industry about your age that have evolved into your position today. I met him at a NARI meeting, the National Association of Remodeling Industry, and invited him to be on the show. He accepted very graciously. I appreciate it. And here he is. And I really appreciate you taking the time to come in today.
I appreciate you having me.
How long you been with QuickKit?
About 9 months now.
Are you liking it?
I thoroughly enjoy it.
Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, based on the other ones, where are we at? roughly?
It's hard to compare the two. And I know you're going to give me the opportunity to go into a little bit more detail as to why they're so different.
Gotcha.
But what I'm doing right now, I would put it a 9 or a 10 in terms of fulfillment.
We'll talk about it. Hour 1 in the books here. We're going to take a break here, come back with Hour 2, Jeremy Siryus, QuickKit. We'll talk to you then. I turned mine off accidentally on purpose. No, accidentally. I turned it off. I don't know how I did it. But anyway, are we off? We're off. Yeah.
You do a really nice job. I can tell